On Saturday, May 5th, the Kentucky Derby will attract people from all over the world. This race is steeped in tradition, from the rose garland draped over the winning horse to spring mint juleps. And that's the official drink. Now, this morning, Kentucky natives and Woodford Reserve distillers Elizabeth McCall and Chris Morris join us live from Churchill Downs Racetrack to talk more about these beloved traditions. Good morning, folks. How are you?
Good morning. Fine,
Good
thanks.
morning.
Listen, I understand the Kentucky Derby is the longest running sporting event in the United States, dating back to 1875. Well, Elizabeth, that's a lot of mint juleps. Maybe you can tell us about the $1,000 mint julep cups.
That is a lot of mint juleps. But yes, this year's $1,000 mint julep is, we're celebrating the best of Kentucky on Kentucky's best day. So we have sourced all ingredients from Woodford County, Kentucky, where our wonderful distillery sits. So for this year's $1,000 mint julep recipe, we are going to take the mint and rub it on the inside of the cup, and then we're going to leave it in the glass. We're going to take the best 2 ounces of bourbon to celebrate the best 2 minutes in horse racing, and pour that right into the cup. Next, we're going to use sorghum simple syrup. Sorghum is a native grass to Kentucky. It has a lot of great vanilla and dried fruit character. Pour that right in. Then we're going to add our limestone crushed ice. Put that right in the cup. Let it get chilled.
And this water is the limestone water from our distillery.
So now we're going to garnish this. So we've got our beautiful sipping straw. And next we're going to take 3 spray roses and a little bit of mint, tuck it in right next to the straw so that when you sip you get all that beautiful aroma. And again, top it off with a little bit of ice. There you go. And last but not least, we have beautiful rose petals that are actually from the garland of roses that will be draped on the Derby winner's shoulders once they win the race. So we've got that to top it off. So not only is it delicious, but it is beautiful as well.
Wow.
We also get to contribute to a great charity, and the charity this year is the Jennifer Lawrence Art Fund.
Oh. Hey, Chris, how did bourbon become so closely associated with the Kentucky Derby?
Well, it goes back even farther than the Derby, and it goes back to the founding of Kentucky when our ancestors brought with them 2 things as they settled the state: thoroughbred horses and stills. And each horse farm had its own distillery. So the early Kentuckians were meeting to race horses, and they were using cross-country races at the time, and they would compare and drink, of course, their bourbon whiskey. So from the very beginning, horses and bourbon were linked, and we even see over 200 years ago mint julep cups like this cup being used as trophies for horse racing champions.
That's amazing. Elizabeth, I love your fascinator that's on your head. I know that's another tradition. And Chris, maybe you can tell us about a couple more traditions that are associated with this race.
Well, certainly traditions such as getting dressed up for the Derby, it's just required. You want to show off. It's such a social event. You want to be looking for celebrities, and a major tradition is to sing My Old Kentucky Home right before the race.
I notice everybody in the audience seems to know the words. Apparently in Kentucky they learned that very early on.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a tradition from early on.
Or you can look at the monitors as well.
Chris, it seems like it's such a social event. It's the race, is obviously the highlight, but it just seems like it's a wonderful day from beginning to end. There's a lot going on, and I know people show up there year after year because they just wouldn't miss this.
Yeah, it's become an international bucket list. People just want to go to the Kentucky Derby, and you really have to be here to experience how special it is.
Well,
Yes.
Chris, thank you.
People love
Elizabeth,
getting dressed up.
yes, where can people go for more information?
Your viewers can go to woodfordreserve.com to learn more about Woodford Reserve and see some great recipes.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth McCall and Chris Morris. And we'll be watching for sure the Kentucky Derby, sponsored by Woodford Reserve. I love that recipe.